As you may or may not know, my wife and I just got back from Vegas. It was a great trip. We ate, we drank, we had a blast. But then we got home and looked at the credit card, and I gotta say, it doesn't matter how much fun you're having, $25 for a drink is a ripoff. Frickin' Vegas. I hate getting ripped off, and so do the lads over at Harry's. They spent years watching the razor blade companies rip people off and said, no more. Not all heroes wear capes, my friends, and they want to prove that they're legit by offering you hot dogs a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/RTG. I've been telling you about them for months, and I'm genuinely proud to have Harry's as a sponsor of this show. I wasn't kidding. The plastic, futuristic-looking crap razors you get at the store are overpriced and they're poor quality. Harry's blades are crisp, clean, and classy. They're the kind of razor you'd expect your grandpa to have on his bathroom counter. And most importantly, they work. Shave after shave, they're so smooth, they're precise. I used to go through the crappy store blades all the time, but Harry's are built to last. And they're not just better quality than the other names, they're more affordable. And they deliver. Just set your schedule, and for as little as $2, new blades, shaving creams, lotions, everything you need, right to your door when you need it. I genuinely cannot think of a reason not to try Harry's. And I'm not just saying this because they're sponsors. They're the best shaving supplies I've ever used. Try them out, and if you're not happy, your shave's on them. And unlike the other subscriptions, they're really easy to cancel if you want to too, which is a nice bonus, but believe me, you're not going to want to cancel. Getting ripped off isn't funny. Switch to Harry's. Get started with a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/RTG. That's harrys.com/RTG for a $3 trial set.
Kick it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you all so much for listening. This week, episode 89, and we are it's much less funny number than 69. 89, it's kind of a boring number, kind of ugly, fat. Anyway, 89, episode 89, we are talking The Lost Vikings for the Super Nintendo, and apparently later for the Sega Genesis, but we all know that on this show, Sega doesn't count. It's half true. We're talking about Lost Vikings. I played it on the Super Nintendo. I know my guest Daniel played it on the Super Nintendo because we played it together as kids, so that's what we're talking about. And listen, don't write this game or this episode off if you haven't played it. And I mean, I guess if you've gotten this far into the episode, you've already put the work into downloading it. I've seen a couple of people message on Twitter and stuff saying they've never played it, but they want to see what the episode's about and hear what I have to say. I'm telling you, this is a good game, man. It is a good game. It's charming. It looks great. If you like those 16-bit graphics, like you know I'm such a sucker for. And damn it, it's fun. And it's free. It's free online. You can just, I think, if you've got like a Windows computer, you could go download it. We'll tell you more about that in the show. Daniel, my guest, knows more about that. I didn't know it until he came on. So that's what we're going to talk about. Before we get to that, you guys know I'm going to do some rambling and give some shout outs to do some stuff. If you don't want to listen to that, just skip to the description box and you'll see a timestamp telling you where to go. But at this point, if you're quarantined like I am, you've got nothing else to fucking do. So just listen to me ramble for 10 minutes first. Just do it. Just fucking do it. We got some new Patreons, you guys. Our Patreon is going up and up and up. We broke a record again this month with our Patreons. I guess there's still technically 6 days. We could break the record again or keep breaking the record. But anyway, massive shout out and massive thank you to new Patreon supporters, Doug D. I don't know if you want me to say your last name, Doug. So I'm going to go Doug D because that sounds cool. Will Grace. I honestly don't know if that's fake and named after the show or if that's your name. I didn't know if you wanted me to say your last name either, but you can't give me a name with that and not expect me to say it. So Will Grace, shout out to Corey. Thank you for signing up. And to Chris, thank you so much for signing up. Corey and Chris, you guys signed up like minutes apart from each other. I'm sure you don't know who each other are, but you are now forever linked as a tag team in the Remember the Game Patreon universe. So also Corey he works at Jersey's Cards and Comics with one of our original Patreon supporters, Michael Mathis, out in Virginia. I don't know if they're still open or if they're quarantined and locked down like the rest of us, but when things go back to normal, if you live in Virginia, pop by and see Michael and Corey at Jerseys, Cards, and Comics. Tell them I sent you. It won't get you anything whatsoever, but I would get a real kick out of it. Boy, guys, things are crazy, aren't they? It's wild just how much things have changed in the last 7 days from the last podcast I did until this one. I'm not going to spend too much time on the coronavirus because I know this is kind of an escape for everybody to not listen to it, but I have no choice. I'd be crazy if I talked to anyone right now and not mention it. And frankly, outside of my girlfriend, you're the only people I get to fucking talk to because none of us are allowed to go outside. So goddamn right, I'm going to get some stuff off my chest. Just listen, be safe. Wash your hands, clean your controllers. I know I've said it a couple of times, and it started out as a joke, but now I'm being serious. Like, especially if you've got kids in the house, those little petri dish fucking breeding grounds, wash your controllers, man. They get gross. I'm lucky that, like, I don't have to share my controllers with anyone. My girlfriend doesn't even touch them, and her hands are infinitely cleaner than mine are. So nobody in my house touches my controllers, but do that. And listen, if you work in the healthcare field, something medical, if you're driving transit, if you fucking work at a grocery store or the liquor stores or a cannabis store here in Canada, fuck yeah, or any of those things. If you're basically working right now and doing something to keep civilization moving, thank you on behalf of all of us. Thank you so much. I know a lot. I used to do retail work myself. I know a lot of retail workers make minimum wage or just barely above it. And I hope that this proves that maybe they deserve a little bit more. And I hope you guys are at least getting some hazard pay or a bonus from your company or fucking something. So thank you all. If you're out there working right now and you have to be to keep the wheels turning, we really, really appreciate what you're doing. I mentioned it on Twitter a day or so ago, but like a lot of you have reached out and said this show is kind of like your distraction. It's kind of helping you get through these tough times. You just space out and put on an episode and relax. And which, by the way, thank you for those. Like a message like that, I'm telling you, I share some of them on Instagram and stuff. Those messages absolutely make my day. And I just want to point out, like, I'm a little stressed out myself right now. Comedy, my stand-up comedy career is completely dead as is comedy right now. I'm not working at all right now like many, many people. And I struggle with that because my girlfriend is working from home and we're fine financially. She's keeping us above water. Her company is very generous and they're taking care of her and everything. It's a personal pride thing. You know, I'm a 36-year-old adult guy. I just want to do my part and there's nothing I can do right now. And it sucks. So this show is just as therapeutic for me as it is for you guys. Just getting to sit down up here and talk about video games and kind of space out. Frankly, it's maybe more therapeutic than it is for you guys because I'm the one getting the messages from everybody talking about how much they appreciate it. So just like thank all of you for the messages and for listening and thanks for just giving me an outlet to relax and talk about video games. You know, one of the highlights of my day, I mean, even before the shit hit the fan in the world and everything, was just when I woke up, I would check my emails and stuff. And one of the things I would do is log into the Podbean account and see where our numbers are. And they're almost always up, almost always. Sometimes it's like 20, 25%. Sometimes it's literally 2 or 3%, but it's always up. And that means that new people are finding the show. And frankly, I'm fucking really proud of it. I'm prouder of this than I am of my comedy career. I'm proud of how much it's grown. I'm proud of the community that we've built here. And a ton of the reason this show has grown as it has is because of you guys and you girls out there spreading the word, telling people about our stupid little podcast. So thank you so much. We have more downloads in the last 2 weeks than we had in the entire month of December, which is fucking insane because that was a record month for us by a mile. So it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. So thank you. Thank you. God, I know I say it like a trillion times an episode. I just don't know how else to say it. I'm blown away. Thank you. I uploaded a video to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/rememberthegame for very rarely mentioned on here, explaining my podcast equipment, how it works, how I set it up, the process I go through. If you know how to podcast, this video is a complete waste of your time. It's useless. But if you're looking to start one, and maybe it'd be a little bit of help to you. I've had a few people, both friends and listeners of the show, reach out asking me about it, so I thought I would shoot a video and explain it, because I know when I was starting because this isn't my first podcast. My first podcast ever was called Adam Wastes Time, and it was just me as a comedian talking about comedy and whatever in life, and we got like 5 downloads a week. I think I did about 80 episodes of it, and then I switched over to Remember the Game, and the rest is history. But I I had no idea what I was doing, man. I learned completely from scratch, just from Google. I couldn't even find a video walking me through how to set up a simple podcast studio and equipment. So I kind of learned from trial and error. So I thought this video would help. So if you're looking to start a podcast, maybe give it a shot. Maybe it'll help you out a little bit. Ask questions if you want. I'll try to answer them. And like, listen, man, starting a podcast, if you want to start one, fucking do it. Like, the world needs more shitty podcasts. We can never have too many podcasts. And when you start one, it's really exciting. Like when you get the idea in your head and you sit down with your friend or whomever by yourself, you're like, yeah, we're going to fucking be the next Joe Rogan and we're going to talk. And it's exciting for about 2 days and then it sucks. Because you realize you're not getting any downloads and no one cares. And maybe the podcast really isn't that good. Just like, don't get discouraged. Ride it out. No one's good at this right off the hop. Between Adam Wastes Time, other appearances on other people's podcasts, and Remember the Game, and then a few episodes of Wrestling with Wrestling, I've probably done about 200 podcasts, and I still am not that good at it. It just takes a long time to get used to talking into a microphone. So just stick with it. Just work on it. Just don't give up. Just do it. It's fun. If anything, it's fun. Also over on the YouTube channel, I don't plug it on here very much because I don't upload that much stuff to it other than episodes of the podcast. You can find all the episodes there if you want to listen to them on your computer. They're all there free, just youtube.com/remember the game. Except for the Grand Theft Auto Vice City episode because we got flagged for music on that one and they shut us the fuck down. But there's some Let's Plays over there. I used to have a Let's Play series called Adam Sucks at Video Games. And then I started it and then comedy got really busy and I just kind of ran out of time and stopped. Because it's not only do you have to play the game, which is the fun part, but you got to edit it and put it up and everything. Comedy is dead as fuck now and I'm probably home till June at least. I bet you probably June, May for sure, probably June. So I'm gonna record a whole bunch of them. I probably could put a year's worth together in the next week and a half. So they're gonna start going up. So if you want to see some of the old ones, they're little 10-12 minute clips, most of them. A lot of profanity. You can watch me suck at games. There's a Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, Bart versus the Space Mutants. Go check those out, and there'll be more up probably next week. I'm gonna start recording them this afternoon, I think. And then finally, before I get into the minimal news this week, we ran a Mario Kart tournament on Saturday. People complained. Some people. I woke up to messages from people being like, I can't get on. I don't know how to make this work. Nobody else is online. First of all, don't send your goddamn complaints to me because I don't run the Nintendo online service. And frankly, I don't know how to fix it, nor do I care. Okay? I just trying to do something fun. There was no prize. It was just for fucking bragging rights. But nevertheless, it looks like 20 or 30 people played. I'm going to try to run another one this Saturday, I think, but I'm going to do it in the evening and I'm going to do it in a smaller time frame. When I ran last Saturdays, I did it from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mountain Time, thinking that, now it doesn't matter how busy you are, you can log in later and play against the computer, and there was never more than 3 or 4 people on. So I think I'm going to run one this Saturday, just do it over a 2-hour window, 8 races. Again, no prize, just for a shout out and just for the community to get to play some Mario Kart together. Because goddamn, it was fun, man. I forgot how fun it is. So follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll be posting the code on Saturday. It's at Member the Game, just like Remember, but without RE, because some asshole already has those ones. So at Member the Game. I'll follow you back on both. You can interact with me on both, and I will be posting the Mario Kart 8 tournament timestamp code on there not timestamp code. Login code or whatever, the friend code. You know how Nintendo is. It's got to be fucking complicated with Nintendo. And we'll play a little bit of Mario Kart Saturday night. So I wanted to shout out to the winner. This was not my intention. I'm glad there was no prize. I did not mean for this to happen. I won. I won. So shout out to me. No. So then I wanted to give a shout out to the 3 people that finished, I guess 2, 3, 4 behind me. And that is your winner is Omega. Right behind Omega was Dave 1009, and then right behind Dave was Tarapt 15. So congratulations to you 3 men, women, children, animals, whatever you are, people. It was fun. I love that game, and we're gonna do another one on Saturday. So again, keep an eye on Facebook.com/rememberthegame. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll haul you back, and I'll give you the code, and you can hop in and play a little bit of Mario Kart with us, and I'll be on there playing and having a good time. I don't have a lot of news. Believe it or not, as you could probably tell, nobody's talking about anything other than a certain virus right now. But I'm going to quickly give you guys a breakdown of what I have seen in the news over the last few days. PlayStation ran a super boring presentation about the specs of the PS5 last Wednesday, right after I recorded the episode, so I didn't get a chance to talk about it. It was boring as fuck. I watched like 2 minutes of it and was like, I might be bored right now, but I'm not that bored. I'm not watching this. I don't understand how that was what they showed. It, like, I was listening to, I think it was IGN's PlayStation podcast, Beyond, and they were talking about how it felt like a presentation that like they didn't mean to make public. Like it was supposed to be for developers. I'm sure it sounds like it was the video they were going to show at the Game Developers Conference, and then they just decided to make it public because the GDC got canceled. So they just showed it to everybody. But it was all about like how you develop games for the system and what it can do and how easy it can be to develop games for the system. And it was complete French to me. I have no idea what the fuck any of it meant. So I skipped it. Sounds like it's pretty powerful too. From what I've seen, people are comparing it to the new Xbox Series X specs, which also make no sense to me, but they're saying they're both incredibly powerful consoles. I have no doubt that they're going to get delayed. I think we're going to be going even further before we see some pricing information. I think they're going to get delayed for sure with all the problems in the world right now. Forget the manufacturing and the getting parts and all that kind of stuff. People don't have the cash. More and more people are hurting for cash right now. No one's going to be having, well, I don't say nobody, but fewer people are going to be sitting around with $500+ to drop on a new video game system right now. So, I do want to get one eventually, but admittedly, if things keep going the way they're going for too long, I'll be waiting because I'm not going to have the money to just drop on a new console right now. I still don't know which one I'm going to get. I guess if I had to commit to one right now, I'd probably go Xbox Series X? Because Game Pass is awesome. But I want to see what PlayStation comes up with for launch titles. And honestly, the good thing about a potential delay in the launch of these systems is maybe it'll give developers more time to finish their games or put a little bit more polish on a launch game, and maybe we'll get more titles. And I have not officially heard they're delayed. I would be floored if it wasn't. Floored if they weren't delayed. So, it's crazy, man. Crazy times to be locked indoors gaming with the games right now. Like, I went and looked up some game reviews. So again, I know a lot of people shit on IGN. I'm not here to argue whether or not IGN is good, but I went there preparing my notes for this week's show. Just listen to some of the recent reviews. This is how, like, there couldn't be a better time. Like, I'm not saying that this whole problem we're going in the world is good, but there couldn't be a better time to be locked inside playing video games. Listen to some of the games that have released in the last month. Excuse me, these are their recent reviews. I just went by recent reviews for video games. Doom Eternal's multiplayer, 8 out of 10. Half-Life Alyx, I don't know how to say it, or Alex, I don't know, 10 out of 10. Doom Eternal's single-player campaign, 9 out of 10. Animal Crossing, 9 out of 10. MLB Show The 20, 8 out of 10. I'll get into that in a second. Neo 2 on the PlayStation 4, 9 out of 10. Ori and the Will of the Wisps on the Xbox One, which I will also get into in a minute, very, very positively, 9 out of 10. And there's still Resident Evil 3, Final Fantasy 7 in the next couple of weeks. Last of Us 2 is 2 months away. My God, the video games right now. Like, I've pulled back because initially I planned on picking up Doom Eternal and Resident Evil 3, but again, trying to save some cash for, like, I don't know, food and stuff, I guess. And I do plan on getting Final Fantasy 7 and Last of Us 2. So I got tons to play. I was like, I don't need that. The show is sitting there looking at me. I'm a recovering MLB The Show addict. I've been clean for 2 or 3 years now, and I refuse to relapse right now. Even though I've got literally nothing else to do but sit inside and play video games, I refuse. I have too many other games I want to play, and MLB The Show fucking takes over my life. It takes over my life, and I refuse. The only sports game that might get its claws in me again would be if they released a new Tiger Woods game as good as the old ones. You guys remember those? Oh, I'd love to do an episode on the Tiger Woods games someday. Those are so fucking good. But other than that, I've refused. And now, okay, so now on my show notes, I was going to get into what have I been playing lately, but I forgot I wanted to mention this, and I did not make a note of it off the top. If you haven't been paying any attention, GameStop/EB Games, and I may say GameStop, and I may say EB Games moving forward. EB Games is what it's called in Canada. GameStop, obviously, is in the States. It's the same company now. They stayed open, or they're trying to stay open. I know in Canada now they've been shut down, I think. I know in Canada they've been shut down, I think. That's the quality of fucking journalism you get here. I'm pretty sure they've been shut down here in Canada. I don't think they've been shut down nationally in the States yet. They're arguing that they're an essential business to try to stay open. Dude, go to their Facebook page, their Twitter accounts, anywhere they post, and read the comments. It is just a shit pile of people telling them to go fuck themselves, close your stores. Their employees are getting sick. Nothing's getting cleaned. They're not sending out equipment to clean stuff like they told everyone they would. Camelot 331 is on YouTube. I hope I didn't talk about this last week. I don't think I did. He released a video. No, because it wouldn't have come out till afterwards. He released a video with a leaked conference call between the higher ups at EB Games and a bunch of the store managers, where they're basically saying like, hey, can we close? Like, this sucks. And they're basically like, no. As they're all working from home, the executives, they're telling them no. I'm telling you right now, we all know that EB Games, GameStop, whatever, is on their last legs. They're dying. They're going to be dead soon. I'm not trying to make light of it. As I've mentioned on here before, I've always had good experiences with my staff here at EB Games in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And I don't want to see a ton of people out of work all of a sudden, because God knows we're going to see enough of that in the planet in the coming months. But like, that company is a shithole. Their stock has gone to nothing. And I'm telling you right now, I don't care what anyone says. I've never read this anywhere. This is just me talking out of my ass with no business experience. The only reason that they're trying to get these stores to stay open right now is because their sales are up. They've admitted their sales are up because everyone in the world's fucking locked down. So what else is there to do to play video games? So people are going to the store, they're buying consoles, they're buying video games to help pass the time. And I guarantee this has to do something for their stock. Maybe their stock goes up a little bit. And then while their stock is up, I think how the higher ups could fucking dump a bunch of the stock, make cash before it crashes, and the company goes bankrupt. That's what I think is happening. Put on my tinfoil hat for 2 seconds. Major League Baseball. Fucking, I can't stand it. It makes me sick. All these big companies and these big commercial corporations, they don't care about their employees. They don't care about their staff. They don't care about anything other than the almighty dollar. And I understand that business is about making money, but without your people, you can't make money. This is bullshit. I've decided I'm done with them. I will not buy stuff from them anymore. I can't stand it. It fucking, at least Walmart, that's still open too, is open because they've got food. And I'm not saying Walmart is a fucking great company by any stretch. I'm a former Walmart employee, and they can go fist themselves. But at least there's a reason for them to be open. For EB Games / GameStop to be arguing that they're an essential business and that they need to be staying open just so that people could go buy Animal Crossing or Doom or fucking old PlayStation 3 games, or kids can go in there and just grub their mini little fucking petri dish fingers through pre-used copies of every single NHL game that ever came out so that the fucking employees can touch them and get sick. It is horseshit. I can't stand it. Close your fucking stores. I saw them tweet. My buddy Chris text me and said, hey, look, the Death Stranding is on sale because he hates that game. And they were like, yeah, you can get Death Stranding for $30. And I was like, dude, you should change the name of your stores to fucking Death Stranding, you disgusting people. Anyway, I had no intentions of talking about that on here, but that felt good. So what have I been playing? I'm going to get into that, and then I just clapped. I hope you guys could hear that. I'm going to get into what I've been playing, and then I'll shut up. We'll get to the Lost Vikings. What have I been playing over the last 7 days? A lot, because I've got nothing else to do. I'll start. I finished Horizon Zero Dawn's campaign. Very good. Very good. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. No spoilers, but there will be a sequel. It ends on not a cliffhanger, but it definitely sets itself up for a sequel. And I'll definitely buy and play the sequel. Having said that, I did not do all the side missions. I didn't play through all the DLC or anything. It was fun, but it stayed its course. Like, by the time I was done, I was like, I'm done. I don't need to do this anymore. A game has got to be really good for me to go 100% and go through side quests and try to do everything. But I definitely recommend it. If you're looking for a game to play, it's cheap right now. Really fun game on the PlayStation 4 and apparently on PC now right away. You have a bow and you fight robotic dinosaurs. There. Like, that should be all it takes to hook you. Speaking of games that are really, really good and that I want to do everything on, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I've been talking about it for weeks, how I could not wait to play Ori. It is one of my 3 most anticipated games of the year, along with Final Fantasy VII Remake and Last of Us 2, and it is living up to the hype. It is so fucking good. I love it. I love this game. It's at about 60% completion right now. I have every intention of 100%ing it, which I very rarely do. If you like Metroidvanias, I cannot recommend Ori and the Blind Forest, which is the original game. It's on Xbox and Switch, and Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is only on Xbox, but it's on Game Pass. So if you got Game Pass, you've got Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This one is certainly a little more Hollow Knight-y than the first one. You can see the influence, a little bit deeper combat, a little bit more attention to equipping. They call them shards, and they give you just different abilities and stuff like that. Both phenomenal platformers. The games are gorgeous. They run smooth. This one was a little laggy. I actually had to uninstall and reinstall it because it was freezing on me about 10 hours in. But then I read that if you pre-install the game, there was an issue with some of them. And so I uninstalled, reinstalled. If you've already started playing, you can uninstall and reinstall. You won't lose your save file, at least not on the Xbox One. I didn't. It seems to be running, I would say 95% perfectly now. I've had the odd moment with a little bit of slowdown, but the 99% of it is running good. Fucking love that game. Can't recommend it enough. Ori games are so good. I've also started replaying Mario Odyssey on my Switch. I was torn between Fire Emblem Three Houses and Mario Odyssey. They're the two games on my Switch that I've finished that I've always wanted to go back to. And I usually have minimal time to play, so I'm trying to dedicate it to stuff I haven't finished yet. But now I'm at home all night and all day. Usually I'm out at comedy open mics at night. Now I'm just sitting here for another 5 or 6 hours every night. So when my girlfriend and I watch TV, I fire up my Switch. And Odyssey, I started it, and it's just so goddamn charming and so good, and I'm so happy to be replaying it. Fuck, I love that game. So I'm also playing that. I'm going to start playing through Spyro, the original Spyro the Dragon, on my PlayStation Classic right away, because it looks like it's going to win this month's Patreon poll. It's a new perk we added. There's your Patreon plug. You thought you could get away without one this month, or this week. Patreon.com/remember the game. In addition to the shout outs and the extra podcasts and the chance to win stuff, now you can vote in a poll where every month I will play through the game that wins the poll and then do an episode on it in the following month. So expect an episode on Spyro coming up. Probably in April at some point, because I'm going to start playing through that right away. And that's it. And then, like I said, I'm going to start recording some Let's Plays. I think I'm going to start a Let's Play of Mario 3 this afternoon, because I need some comfort food, and Mario 3 is fucking comfort food. That's it. I've been playing lots of games. It's a great time to go back, plug away at your backlog, revisit a game you just wanted to play forever, or buy one of those sick new games that I just mentioned that are coming out or just came out, and play them. Just don't buy them from GameStop or EB Games. Fuck them. Do that. Or play Lost Vikings for free, because I'm going to tell you how on this episode, or better yet, Daniel's going to. That's a long intro. Episode 89, we are talking the Lost Vikings. I know some of the niche titles, which I consider this one is, get fewer downloads because people haven't played them. And I hope that's not the case with this one. I hope people give it a chance. I'm going to mention that in the description when I post it. This game is just as charming as 16-bit gaming gets. It looks great. The music's awesome. Gameplay is pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. It's a puzzle platforming game made by Blizzard before they were Blizzard, before World of Warcraft and all the big shit they did. They made this little 16-bit platformer. I just read the word childhood. My childhood chum. That's what I meant to say. Daniel is here. I'm going to cue some music. And we are going to tell you about The Lost Vikings, which originally released on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System on April 29th, 1993. Kick back and relax, wash your hands, and let's rescue some Lost Vikings, you guys. Here we go. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Everyone that listens to this podcast knows about our illustrious CEO, my dog Molly. But the other silent partner behind the scenes is my wife. And let me tell you, my friends, a 17-year relationship with another person that has to talk to and live with you is a lot harder to maintain than one with a dog. We've had our ups and downs, and as you all know, a relationship isn't all sunshine and rainbows. They can be a lot of work. You get out what you put in when it comes to relationships, and talking to a therapist can be a fantastic way to put in some work. They can help you work through your issues, learn to communicate better, and even just provide you with an ear to bend when you need it. I've talked to my therapist about my relationships, especially when it came to my stand-up comedy career and how much I was away from home, and they helped me work on ways to keep my relationship strong even when I was out on the road. It turned out our relationship was actually better when I was out on the road, but that's a story for another day. And I know, right? Therapy. Who has the time these days? BetterHelp hears you, and they're making it easy. Fill out a quick form online, and they'll match you up with a therapist that suits your needs and that'll work around your schedule. You pick the meet times, and you can get your therapy fix from anywhere, over video, phone, or just chat. Become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for one or not. Visit BetterHelp.com/rememberthegame today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. All right, buddy. So first and foremost, I said all right. I fucking swore I wouldn't start the podcast with. I'm not editing that out. That's staying there. It's cool, man. Guest on the show this week is you guys know this is me and my buddies, and we talk about video games and stuff like that. And I'll be honest with you guys, most of the people that come on the show are recent buddies. They're people that I've met doing comedy and stuff like that. The guest that's on the show today is like legitimately probably you and Rob are the two oldest buddies I have because I moved so much as a kid. And that is my pal Daniel, all the way up from the gorgeous metropolis of Calgary. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. And yourself?
I'm great. And I appreciate you finding your way across Edmonton and braving the drivers and the potholes to get here.
Thank God for GPS.
Buddy, this fucking city, man. I love Edmonton. If I know there's some Edmontonians listening, I love it here. But Jesus Christ, man, learn to drive, people. That's not what we're here to talk about. Although I could do maybe I'll start a second podcast or another one that'll just be Edmonton driving stories. We're here to talk The Lost Vikings. Cult classic, I think.
Yeah. I can't remember if BioWare did the original, but it's definitely it's one of their games or Blizzard.
I was just gonna say, yeah. So that's the crazy. That's where I want to start before we even get into the game. I very rarely do like development stories or anything. You guys know that I'm not a reader. But this is a Blizzard game, and I never realized that until I was prepping for today's podcast. And I was like, dude, because when you think of Blizzard, like, I mean, for the love of God, you think of Diablo, Hearthstone, Overwatch, Warcraft, StarCraft. Like, it's one of the biggest video game companies in the world.
Yeah.
But all the way back in 1993, they were just a little company that tried, and they made a game about 3 Vikings on a spaceship and other places.
Yep.
Fucking unreal, dude. Like, I can't think of another. I mean, there's got to be some. But off the top of my head, I can't think of another episode we've done on here where I've brought up the game and then been like, holy fuck, like so-and-so made this game? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean...
Well, and it's not like, Warcraft and StarCraft, you got Blizzard, Warcraft. Like, it's always... It's well known. And then in this one, it was such a small game to begin with that their name wasn't plastered all over it. So you never had that.
No, I mean, and to be honest, like, I don't know. I want to know. I'll ask you because I want to know if people are like this. Like when you start up a game, I mean, it's a little more, I think with the internet and with marketing and stuff now, you're a little more inclined to know the developer of the game than you were back in the early 90s when we were fucking 8, 9, 10 years old. But like when you were a kid, did you ever pay attention to that? Or were you just like mashing start trying to get into the game? Because I never paid attention.
Mashing start, unless like if it was a Nintendo game, like it had Nintendo plastered over it.
Right.
Other than that, no, I never cared.
Right. Or the iconic like Sega. But yeah, other than that, no one, right? I never paid attention. Yeah. So I'm curious now. Like I'm almost tempted to go back and be like, I wonder if any other huge companies made these like, because I was about to say the crappy little games, but this isn't a crappy game.
No, this one was fun.
I would argue, and I've not played everyone. I would argue this is amongst the best puzzle games on the Super Nintendo.
If it's, I would put it up there for sure. I mean, like this was the original Dark Souls, where you die 6,000 times so you figure out how to beat a level.
I'm sorry. Okay, so. I'm setting a rule right now. I don't know what episode this game goes live, or this episode goes live on. This could be in the 80s, the 90s, the 100s. I don't care. Dark Souls is officially banned from my podcast forever. And I've never thought of it because no one else has really brought it up. But now that you've brought it up, I just want to lay that rule down. And if you're one of the Dark Souls fans out there, you are sick fuck because that game can eat every ass. I hate it. And I would be like, oh, get good. Suck my balls. Get good. Ooh.
Good boss designs, though.
Oh, fuck. I hate it. I bought it on my Switch, and I was like, I want to see what the hype is about Dark Souls. And it's not that it's hard. I don't care that it's hard. I'm a Mega Man guy. I'm all for hard games. It's just, it's the slow slog back to where I died just to fucking do it again. You're right. This game is, but you know what? This game is not nearly as vicious or slow or crappy as funny. Dark Souls.
When you restart the level, they start making fun of you after a bit.
Yeah, they do, don't they? They start beaking you.
Yeah.
I love it when video games beak you. I know that because you got a Switch kind of after I started like every week hounding you, like, you got to get a Switch, you got to get a Switch, you got to get a Switch.
Yeah, I've only had mine for about a year now.
Oh, it's so good. Have you played The Messenger? Is that one of the ones you've played yet?
I haven't had a chance to play that one yet.
Okay.
But especially after your podcast, it's on my short list.
Oh, so like the way that they fucking beak you when you die, it's so crazy to me because like I have brutal game rage, like brutal, and for a while I was getting better, and now I'm getting bad again. Like I'm playing through. I don't want to say the game because I don't know when the episode will go live, but I'm playing through a retro game right now in preparation for an episode of the show. And like Molly, my dog, won't come near me when I'm holding my Switch right now because she knows I'm probably playing that game. What was the point? Oh yeah, but when a game beaks me after it kills me, it calms me right down because it just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
And you're right, I forgot. This game, like these three guys, so we haven't even got into the game yet. What are we at? Oh, it's only 5 minutes. We'll be fine. These three guys are fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like they're good characters. This was, dude, why haven't they done anything with this franchise?
Yeah, like literally the only thing is there's an Easter egg in World of Warcraft that has 3 dwarfs that are looking or act like these guys.
Oh,
somewhere.
really?
And I only know that because one of my friends that played the game and sent me like, isn't this those Lost Viking guys that you were talking about?
Oh, that's pretty dope. I didn't know that. Okay. Well, let's get into we'll talk, we haven't even talked about the game. And this is one of those games that I'm worried some people are listening to that they've actually never played. This isn't a Super Mario World or a fucking Sonic. Like, not everyone's played this. The basic concept of it is you control 3 Vikings. They are lost, hence the name Lost Vikings. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot because I did not know it. Do you know their names?
You got Eric, which is the skinny one that runs. You
Yep.
got Olaf, which is the fat guy with the shield. And
Yep.
you got Balrog, which is the grumpy warrior guy.
Good job. Yes, you do. So you got Eric Balrog. I don't know. Is that how you say it? Balrog?
I always say Balrog, and I don't think there's actually an R in there, but
All right.
that's what's stuck in my head, so that's what I say.
And then Olaf, yeah. And so, and here's the, so, okay, so they're 3 Vikings, and they, correct me if I'm wrong, they get pulled into like a time warp or something?
Yeah, they're out fishing or something, and they get sucked up by an alien for his space museum thing, and then when they're trying to escape from that, they get sucked into, I don't know if it's different areas, supposed to be different areas of the ship, or if it's sucked into the time vortex or something.
Yeah, they never really explained, like,
Yeah.
because you start out in a ship.
Yeah.
And then you end up, you're in like the desert, you're in the forest, you're in caves, you're fucking, yeah, I don't know if they ever really, who cares?
Yeah.
It's classic old school gaming, right? I don't care about the story. Just make your game fun. I don't need a fucking story. So you control all 3 of them. And like Daniel mentioned, each of them do something different. Eric he can run really fast and he can jump.
Yeah, and when he's running, he can bash down walls.
That's right. He puts his head down and runs into shit. Yeah. So for my money, he's my favorite of the 3.
I like Olaf.
Olaf's fucking hilarious.
Farts does a little jump, and then he has a shield that he can go up and down. And
yeah,
the fattest guy is the guy that can float down with the shield like a glider.
Yeah, he's the classic, like, lovable goof, big, fucking dumb, slow. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, he's got this giant shield, and yeah, he can like float with it, or he can put it above his head, and then Eric can jump on it, like to go over. Yeah. And he like those 2 play off each other really well. Like they're pretty handy a lot of the time. Plus, and I don't care that I'm a 36-year-old man. It'll never not make me laugh when I see a butt crack. Like it'll always, like it just always makes me laugh. And when Olaf, there's times where you can see Olaf's fat ass, just like the top inch of his butt cracks. That always cracks me up. And then the one we can't say, Balog, whatever the fuck his name is, has a sword and he can also shoot arrows. Yeah. But he can't jump or anything.
Can't jump, can't do anything. But he's the only one for the most part that can really kill anything.
Yeah, that's right. And so you literally need all 3 of them at all time. Like you cannot beat a level without all 3 of them. And so because they all play off each other, and so that's where the puzzle comes in. Is it's so easy. I believe I'm not mistaken, just L or R. And you can swap between the 3 Vikings. Yeah. Like, it's really, like, it's so seamless. Yeah. And at the top of the screen, it shows all 3 of them. And then they've got their, like, 3 heart or their 3 health dots or fucking whatever. And then they can pick up a few items that they can share amongst each other, like keys.
Yeah, if they're close enough, you can share between them.
Right. And it's just, like, keys and food, like the basics. Not too, you're not improving your fucking skills or anything like that. No. And then every level, like, the only goal is to get the 3 of them from wherever you started to the word exit. Yep. Like, could be the desert. There's a neon green exit sign telling you where you have to get. That's It's so. There's no. Have you finished it?
I did way back. I played it on the computer, and admittedly, I had a bit of help from my dad.
Okay.
The only games he was decent at was puzzle games. Right. But I did finish it. It's a long game.
I gotta ask. Like, there's no boss fights, right?
At the very end, you fight Tomato or whatever his name, the guy that kidnapped you.
Oh, okay. But it can't be the most, like, in-depth fight ever. Like, when only one of your 3 guys can attack.
Yeah, no, it's kind of, he has different attacks. You've got to get, Olaf with his shield up and then use Balog, and the other guy's got to go and hit a switch to open it or something like that. It's been 20 years.
I suppose, like, it'd be hard to design a bunch of unique fights around, because at the end of the day, like, listen, like, the 3, I love the concept. I like the fact that the 3 of them have, like, they're very unique. Like, I've always liked that in any game. Like, be it an RPG, fucking this, a platformer, I guess this is kind of a platformer. Like, any game, I love it when characters are distinctly different from each other. You know what I mean? Like, it adds replay. It makes them more fun to control. But there's only so many combos you could really do with them. Like, you can have the shield guy hold his shield and have the arrow guy behind him shooting. You can have the shield guy lift his shield up and have the running guy jump off of him.
Yeah, that's kind of sums it up.
I think that's it.
I mean, you got the levels where all three of them are taking a different path because, the one guy's got to bounce up and down and this and that to get through his, and the one guy is the only guy that can float down, so he takes the lower path.
Yeah.
Whereas the other guy hits all the switches or something, but
there's not a lot of combos, so I don't know how many distinct you couldn't put a boss fight in every world or anything because I think it would have ran its course really quick. As it is this, because you're right, it's a long game, and it's fun, but it to me, a majority, because it gets hard. It starts out, it is so easy, which is classic video games, right?
Yeah.
They're hey, just learn how these three guys work.
Yeah,
you'll
first
be fine.
couple levels, nothing, and then all of a sudden it's okay, there we go, we're taking the kid gloves off.
Right? Yeah, and then it gets fucking vicious, man. But to me, a majority, not so much of the difficulty, but of the variety of it is just making the three of them split up more and more. You've got to pick the right guy to go down the right path to do something, to open up a path for another guy. That's a majority of it, because again, there's only so many combos you can really do with the three guys.
Yeah.
So,
and then you got cases where you got to switch back really quick because you got to move this guy up to put the shield up, and then move the other guy before he gets shot from behind.
That's right.
And if you switch the wrong way, sometimes you're getting hit.
Dude, yeah, that's right. Yeah, in some of those later levels, you get a second to fucking. It becomes a reflex, which is crazy because when you start playing it. Most puzzle games, there's not a lot of reflexes.
No, it's you can sit and think, okay, I got to do this.
Yeah.
And then I got to do this. And then by the end of it, you're okay, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this.
Yeah.
Got to do this, got to do this. Yeah. You don't really get a second to breathe.
No,
at the end of it.
which I like. Because I love a good puzzle game. I've become such a gigantic fan of tactical RPGs, the overhead grid style games like that. But I like how they're very slow and methodical, and I can stop and really plan out my moves. And when I was playing this one, it kind of starts out like that, and then all of a sudden, once you start getting the bad guys that can shoot at you and stuff, you realize Jesus, I gotta be fucking on. You gotta be quick, and that's where that L and R trigger is so. I don't know, maybe genius isn't the right word, but it's very, very clever, and it plays the game so much better.
It's because they're buttons that are easy to hit, but not it's not holding your hand at weird angles.
And you got to remember too, this game came out in '93, so this is baby SNES. This is pretty new, and people were still figuring out what to do with those L and R triggers, right? You look at, because to me, Super Mario World is the definitive tech demo for the Nintendo or the Super Nintendo, and all the L and R triggers did in that was scroll the screen forward or backwards.
Yeah,
they didn't do anything.
I honestly, I was stopping to think. I'm having the extra two face buttons, but yeah, I forgot. I couldn't remember what the shoulder buttons did in that.
Yeah, they don't do anything.
Yeah,
right. And then this was one of the first games, in my opinion. I don't think they do anything in. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna fucking hear about it. But I don't think they do anything in Link to the Past either. Now that I'm thinking about Link to the Past, I don't remember ever using L and R in Link to the Past.
Yeah, I played Link to the Past. I played the remake on the 3DS. I think,
yeah.
So.
Yeah, this. So this was one of the first games that really found a use for them, right? Because we all know Nintendo is so infamous for putting little gimmicks or little new nuances in their systems, and the triggers may have initially seemed silly. This was a great use of, and now imagine a console without triggers.
Oh,
you need 4 triggers now. You can't
literally, way you hold a controller is different. Go back and hold a Super Nintendo or a regular Nintendo controller, and you feel weird because you just instinctively go to put your top 2 fingers at the top, and there's nothing there.
Yeah, you have to have your fingers up there.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it's. I know this was a very long about way, but I want to give credit where it's due. I love the triggers. This was such a great mechanic because if you had to hit, say you had to hit select, or you had to, pausing, I guess but pausing would have taken you out of the moment. When you're really into it. That L and R is so seamless, and they have mechanics in this game that are so quick. So you go into an area where there's a fucking something shooting fire at you, and you need to have Olaf down there with his shield. Then you've got to switch to Balog behind him to shoot some arrows. But then quick, you've got to take Olaf back to the other side to block a fire from that way. And it's just tap, 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 tap. And if you had to go in and out of something, it would have completely broke it. And Blizzard, that's a criminally underrated aspect of this game, that it was one of the first really solid uses of those triggers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that concept. I forgot all about that, how quick that fucking has to be. So, we're doing a lot of nice things for this game. This game is very fun. I have got one gargantuous gripe with this game, and before, I don't want to do this yet. If you got any more, it's funny.
It's absolutely hilarious. The comments, like when you start into a level, they usually have especially if it's in a new world, it's like, oh, well, where are we now?
Yeah.
Like it's just classic comedy.
And I want to
in the
say,
writing.
like, Eric's the jerk, isn't he?
He's the thinks he knows everything, so he's always acts like he's smarter than everyone else.
Right.
He's not. If you play the game, he's no smarter than the other two.
Olaf.
They really hit those stereotypes that were just everywhere back in the day.
Yeah, and Olaf just kind of owns the big dummy. Like,
Yeah.
he's great at that. Like, I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, I guess they're memorable. Memorable may not be quite the word I'm looking for, but they add an extra little bit of sizzle to the game.
Absolutely. This
right?
game would not be anywhere near as much fun without their dialogue at the beginning and end of each level.
No, not at all. I agree with that. Like, or even just like their their animations are fucking gorgeous.
Well, they're designed in general. Like, I mean, we talked about Olaf. He's got his butt hanging out there. He's got the big old belly.
Yeah,
but not like it's Beliog, whatever, has the big old handlebar mustache, and I'm making the gestures, but only Adam can see this.
Yeah.
Like it's just,
and he's got that like sourpuss giant chin flexed out, like I'll kill you look on his face.
Yeah.
I'm looking at them right now, and then Eric's got that Yosemite Sam.
Yeah, he's got the
huge
big old
red beard. Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's such classic depictions of Vikings that the look is just iconic.
And the way the three of them move.
Yeah.
It like, and listen, you guys have all heard me fucking suck the dick of 16-bit pixel art. I love it to death. But the way the three of them move, it looks like a cartoon.
Oh,
it's so gorgeous. And I'm a Nintendo guy through and through. This looks like a Sega Genesis game.
Yeah.
Like, the bottom line is the Sega has better graphics.
Oh, absolutely. Always did. But yeah, there's something about the fluidity of the way these sprites move.
Yeah.
That was unmatched on most Super. I cannot think of another Super Nintendo game that looked that good for this sort of 16 pixel.
No, it's
like it just.
And the way the three of them, so the backgrounds are a lot of like, I mean, I guess there's like the pyramids and stuff where they get kind of gold, but like the backgrounds are traditionally kind of dark and kind of monotone colored and stuff like that. And then like between Olaf, but the three of them, like it's bright greens, bright yellows, bright reds, bright blues. Like the three of them just fucking pop.
Yeah.
Like pop. Like they look like like when you watch a cartoon and they put the characters at the front and then have those like the backgrounds that are just stationary. Like these three feel like they're just glowing.
Yeah.
And I really...
And they feel alive because they have idle animations that kick in like really quickly.
Really quick.
You're sitting with the other guy waiting for a lift to come down, and the other one, scratching his ass or something like that. So I mean, they feel like they're actually there and doing something.
And the way they move, like Eric in particular, the way Eric, the fast guy, runs, and then when he puts his head down and runs into stuff, when he hits something, he like falls back on his ass and has the like Looney Tunes eyes with the birds floating around
his head, and it has the classic sound effects.
Yeah, I couldn't get over it. Like when I was replaying it a few months ago to get ready for this, I was like, God, like it just is such a gorgeous. Even by like, I think all games from that era look good, but this game looks so good. It's funny. The three come to life. I love it. All that said, here's my biggest, and I think most people would say the biggest problem with this. I guess it's a problem. You have to get all three out to finish a level. Yeah,
and there's nothing worse than spending however long you get two guys, and then because you made one mistake there, and then you trip up and hit a fireball at the end, and okay, that guy's dead.
Yeah, or they take fall damage.
Yeah,
and it's like, and sometimes you don't even know they're about to fall, and then I mean, in Olaf, you can hit the button and lift his shield up and float, but the other two are gonna fall. And then there's nothing. Oh, like you said, you grind for 20 minutes, you get two of them to the exit, and then the third one just has to get there, and then you fuck up and he dies, and now you've got to restart that whole level again.
Or when if it happens off screen, because you're controlling one of the other two, because it's not one screen, like it's a big map.
It's real time.
So and stuff's happening real time. So you'll be playing around with Eric or something, and all of a sudden Balrog's portrait there turns into a skeleton. You're like, well, what the hell happened to him? Yeah, they take damage without being, because like the camera, like the if you've never played it, like the camera doesn't zoom out to show you all three. It constantly stays at the same size. Yeah. And so once you walk, like whichever Viking you're controlling, once they walk far enough to take another character off screen, that character's off screen, but they're still very in the level. And you're right, all it takes is for you to forget that fucking Eric is vulnerable right now and you walk away, and then all of a sudden at the top of the screen he's taking damage, and dude, this game kills you fast. Yeah, like you have 3 hits, but those 3 hits mean almost nothing. Yeah, like you get a chance. The 3 hits are basically there. Okay, you made a mistake and you accidentally had him facing left. You got one chance to correct that. Yeah, and then by the time you switch back to a guy, you're
And it's just like I'm torn on this because I want to slam it harder for saying you got to get all 3 out because like the thing is you don't. I mean, you need all 3 to beat every level. But having said that, it does hit a point most levels where you can get to the exit. It's just a matter of switching from 1 to 2 to 3 and walking all 3 of them to the exit.
Yeah.
Like there's no obstacles left.
Yeah.
And it is so irritating when you fucking play through this whole level and then you fuck up once. Like it's I don't mind it when it's early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you've put 10 or 15...
Right at the end of the level there.
Yeah, and some of these levels are fucking 10, 15 plus minutes long. Like,
yeah.
I guess if you... Well, I mean, they're probably not if you know what you're doing, but if you don't know what you're doing, they are. Yeah. And then the only thing... you can keep playing with the other 2.
Yeah.
Which I usually do just to scout. You know what I mean? You can at least look for some shit.
If it's a new level, I go around there. And okay, well, this is what I'm going to have to do. I can get them this far.
Yeah.
Okay, and at least now I'm prepared. When I start next game, I can just go to this guy and get this far here.
But it's frustrating to have to start over, particularly when like there's not. I mean, other than Eric, the runner, there's no way to go fast.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you know what I mean? Like for argument's sake, if you die in like a Super Mario World and then you start that level over, you can fly through the first. If you know where the bad guys are, you fly through it, right? This game, like you die, it is the exact same pace. It's like the cruise control is set. It's the same pace the whole time,
and they're not fast.
They are not fast.
Aside from the runner, like it's a plodding step for the other 2 guys.
Yeah, it's not quick at all, and it is like it's like if you've ever, I mean, like anyone that plays Mario without holding down the run button 90% of the time is a freak.
Yeah,
and this game is like you're playing it without holding down the run button, and there is no run button.
That sums it up nicely.
That's how fast they go, and you're already irritated that you just died, particularly after 10, 15 minutes of playing, and now you got to fucking slowly trod through. And the thing is like nothing changes. There's no random like bad guy generating. There's no random switches. Everything is it's a carbon copy. Yeah. So once you know what to do, it's just a matter of grinding through the whole thing again, which is where that fucking Dark Souls comparison comes in, except it's not nearly as bad as Dark Souls, but it's the same fucking thing. It is just slow and meticulous. And the thing is like, I want to slam it harder, but I don't really know is there not, like, what else would you have done?
Yeah, I mean, it's, okay, you got 2 guys there. Do you get to just spawn the last one? But like that last character might still have stuff to do. Maybe he's got to go through and shoot this or that. Like usually, if you've got 2 guys at the end, then you've opened every door, and it is usually a case of just walking everybody else.
Yeah,
there.
you know how to beat it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the only thing I could think of maybe to fix it would be checkpoints during the level.
Yeah, but then that would take some of the that would work for that particular thing, but it would take a lot of the urgency out of the rest of it.
It would.
And I don't know if the trade-off would be good.
No, I don't either. I mean, maybe.
I agree with you, but it's the parts that drive me nuts though is when you've got a case where it is just literally a case of one of your 2 slow guys, you just have to walk them all the way over there.
Yeah,
and it's just hold left. Holding left.
Yeah, and dude, there's points where there's not even anything to hurt you.
Yeah,
it like once you open a switch up. Like, so say there's like a door and you need to get you need to have Olaf lift his shield so Eric can jump off his shield and go up to a ledge and hit a switch to open the door. So now you've done that. So now you walk Eric, the fast guy, back and run him through the door. Then you switch to Olaf and you waddle him through the door. Now you switch to the weapon guy who's still back at start.
Yeah.
And it's a 30-second left, down, right. And it's like, fuck, come on. Like, and I get that you can't really put a run button in because if you do, then you break the mechanic that Eric is the fast guy.
Yeah.
But it would add so much to it, you know?
Well, and then there's stretches where I feel like they stretch it out just to make you paranoid. It's like you open a door and then you're waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
And then nothing happens.
Because you can't see.
And then after it's like you start inching up Olaf with the shield. It's like something's got to be coming. Something's got to be coming.
Yeah. I fucking forgot about that. Yes, you're like, and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And then you go, and then something fucking pops out and kills you. Sons of bitches. Yeah. So I guess that's a criticism of it. And then my other, my other criticism of it, I guess, is just there's really not a lot of replay.
No, it's you beat it. Like I mean, replaying it. I started replaying this a couple months ago as well, but I haven't played it in 20 years.
Yeah, the only way the replay is limited to your memory. Like once you know how to beat a game or like a level in this game, quite frankly, I don't even think it would be that much fun to play knowing how to beat it. I think it'd be boring. No. Like there's no challenge to it, right? Like first, I would recommend this to anyone, and it's not available anywhere. Like it's a fucking lost classic in time. You've got to ROM this shit up. I don't think it's on any virtual consoles or anything.
You can download it for free off Blizzard's website.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
fucking right. Go. I'm telling you, play it because that's fine. And the first time you've ever played it is fun, but there's no replay. It's like 3 dozen levels or something. I think I read, and then that's it. Like that's it.
I think it's more than that. I thought it was closer to like 40 or 50 levels.
I get maybe, but like once you're done them, you're done them.
Yeah,
there is no
there's
and like
no
and listen, like I get this was 1993. There was no DLC. There was fucking nothing like that. But like there's I don't know. Maybe they could have put a hard mode in with more bad guys or something, or an easy mode with checkpoints, or I don't know, something like. There's no replay. Like it's, and the thing is I think that's why that's a big part of why you can die and then have to start back over because it stretches it out, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked about this on this podcast a million times. Some of these vintage games are hard, and I think a majority of the reason they're hard has nothing to do with game design. It's just, well, if we make it hard, it'll take them longer to beat it, and then they won't feel like they got ripped off. Because you could probably beat this game in 3 hours if you're good at it. 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's got passwords or anything.
Yeah. Every level's got a password that pops.
Oh, that's right. It does have passwords. Yeah. No saves or anything. There's no battery pack in it. So if you make it hard, then it takes people longer to beat. Because otherwise, fucking, you go out, you spend $80 on this game as a kid, and then you beat it in a day, and you're like, well, now what do I? Because there's literally no reason to even turn it back on. You're like, well, now what do I fucking do? So I guess if I've got two slags, that's it. And the big slag is just the frustration of fucking waiting you got to start over. Fucking go get your fucking guy back and do it again. It's not the end of the world though.
No.
I like this game far more than I dislike it. Like there's
absolutely.
It's gorgeous. It's fun.
And then
now before, because there is a sequel.
Yeah.
And I would like to mention
Lost
that.
Vikings North by Northwest.
Now before we get into that, is there anything else you got anything else good or bad to say about the original before we dip into the?
No, the enemies. There's lots of the enemies have really cool designs. Like, I mean, they same as any game. They get tiresome after a while. But like, you know, like your blob guy, he looks like somebody had fun making a blob guy. It's not a standard thing. Like the enemies are all the characters in this game are fun.
Yeah, you know what?
They look good. They're funny.
Blizzard deserves some credit for, like, I mean, obviously, I mean, I don't know, fucking, I'm not even going to pretend to know anything about video game design, so I shouldn't say obviously. But I assume that with a majority of video game design, when it comes to a game like this, you're like, well, what about a puzzle game where we have 3 characters with different abilities and you got to get all through to the end of the level? Like, I'm sure that's how it started.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, what if we make them into Vikings? And then we put them in these weird areas. And you're right, and the bad guys, like, they could have really mailed it in with the design and just made it like a quick fucking puzzle game. That's it. They put it, like, I know we've already blown smoke up the ass of Blizzard as far as the design of the Vikings, but you're right. The bad guys, same thing. Everything that moves in this game looks gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, they really, and I'm telling you, like, that's a big fucking thing. And I'm not a graphic snob. I make the game fun before you make the game look good.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree entirely there.
But having said that, like, when your game looks good too, bonus points, and I cannot get over how nice this game looks. I want these guys back. God damn it!
I would love for a new Lost Vikings game.
I was thinking about this before you got over here. To me, this game would be perfect on mobile.
Oh yeah,
like just like, and you could just keep buying new levels and stuff like that. Like that'd be fucking. Yeah. But I mean, Blizzard's got enough shit on their plate right now. I don't think they're too worried about the 3 fucking Vikings from 1993. When you've got the Overwatch controversies and that Warcraft
farm
thing.
it out to someone then. Like, you know, like it's
yeah, I agree.
Here's your IP. Have fun with it.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so there is a sequel on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. I didn't realize the sequels on Super Nintendo as well. I played both of them on the computer.
Okay. Now I've played, because I have the second one on my. I was reading about it, and it's apparently it came out like right near the end of the lifespan of the Super Nintendo. Lost Vikings 2. Yeah, 1997 it came out. Yeah. I think the 64 was already out when 1997 hit.
Yeah, it definitely would have been kind of in that crossover period.
So, I mean, every system has those games right at the end that just kind of get forgotten because they're just the last remnants of the console. You know what I mean? So I never played this. You said have you finished this one?
Yeah, I finished this one. This one was nice. It starts off where it feels like very similar. They get Tomato or whatever the bad guy comes in, picks him up again.
Yeah.
And they ambush the robot, so they've got a little bit of upgrades. So Eric, he can jump, he can run and do the dash game, but he's got rocket boots, so he can do a double jump.
Okay.
Balog, instead of his bow and arrow, he's got mechanical arms, so he can swing from grapple points.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then Olaf, he's got the shield again, and then he can also shrink and turns tiny and goes through like little cracks. And
Oh,
things.
that's great. Yeah, I never realized that. So they beat up a robot and took his abilities.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's
and then
fucking
as
cool.
you play the game, you actually unlock 2 more characters. There's the Fang, which is a werewolf.
Okay.
So he can stick to walls, so he can jump up and climb and whatnot, as well as attack.
So just sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but at what point did wall climb just become something games have to have? Because I hate it when I play a game that's actiony now and I can't. Like, even Mario can wall climb.
Yeah.
Like, everybody wall climbs now.
Yeah.
I don't know when that happened. Sorry, I just.
No, it's true. It's one of those things that just is part of the game now. And
Yeah. Once one game figured out, like, yo, you could add a lot of depth to it with this, then every game was like, oh, yeah, fucking wall climb. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so there's Fang, and then there's.
And then there's a dragon character, Scorch, I think, and he can fly and he can spit fire.
Oh, okay.
Which are his abilities. And then because they're going through a time thing, you only ever get 3 of the 5 at a time.
Oh, so do you have to pick?
No, you don't pick. You start the level and it's, you've got, okay, this time I've got Scorch, Fang, and Eric.
Okay. Well, dude, that's pretty rad because that adds so much more depth to the. We were talking about with the original one how there's only so many combos you can do with 2 or 3 moves per guy.
Yeah.
When you have 5 guys with more abilities and different combos.
Yeah, so it evened it up, and then you've got the same thing. You got 5 or 6 different zones or area level, whatever,
Like worlds. Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun, and then the humor is still there. The graphics, if I remember correctly, were tidied up a little bit, but
okay, that's something I wanted to touch on because I have played it, but only played it for let's say half an hour on my thing. I didn't like the graphics as much. I thought they cleaned them up too much, and I was like, no, I liked them better when they were kind of almost sloppy, like big. Yeah. Like in the first one, in the first Lost Vikings, like they almost look like paint that's bled a little bit. Like they're so big, and you know what I mean. And this one, it almost felt like someone had like a fine tooth, like a pen.
Tip,
that's the word. Yes. I talk for a living. Like a fine tip, like pen, and they just made them so intricate.
Yeah.
And I slightly preferred the big blobby. Do you know what I mean? Like neither one looks bad. I just.
Yeah.
That's
no,
all.
it's just there's just something about that sort of big pixels thing there that. When you clean it up a little bit, it does lose some of that love. I guess.
That said, it still looks fucking cool. It still looks rad. And is that it for the series?
As far as I know,
I'm on their Wikipedia page right now. Yeah, like Lost Vikings has been released on the Super Nintendo, the Amiga.
Oh wow.
Fuck off. I don't even know what the fuck Amiga is, but it's never gonna be on my fucking show. Looking at it right now, it looks like a really ugly computer. There's some PC master. Fucking my pal Chris is probably listening to this right now, just like, hey, that's the 256 KB RAM computer nerd. I don't fucking MS DOS, Sega Genesis, Game Boy Advance. That's it. Like it's just a dead franchise.
Yeah, and I just who knows? Maybe Blizzard will bring it back. I mean, we got StarCraft 2 after 20 years.
I suppose.
I mean, they dragged that out for 3 games in 10 years as well. But
this is one of those, like, everyone's got those vintage franchises that are just dead that you want. And I don't mean like Star Fox or F-Zero, like a big franchise. I mean like those little niche 1 or 2 games. Yeah. Like I've always felt like this game has always been one of the ones that jumped out at me that I was like, I love another Lost Vikings. And I want Battletoads.
A new Battletoads would be awesome.
Where the fuck is Boy, I want a combination Battletoads and Lost Vikings. Lost Toads. It's a terrible fucking idea. Terrible idea.
Maybe, new Battletoads will take you another 20 years to beat.
Yeah, fair enough. Fuck, it's impossible. Dude, this is a good game. Yeah. This is one of those, like, I know every week I come in here and I'm like, oh, I love this game so much. And everyone always makes fun of me for it. I'm not going to say that about this one. I don't love this game so much. But I'm glad that this game is getting its moment in the sun.
Yeah.
And if you had told me 25 years ago when you and I were playing this game in Calgary that someday we'd be sitting here in Edmonton doing a podcast about it for the world to find out about how great Lost Vikings was, I wouldn't have believed you. And I'm glad it's fucking getting its moment because
absolutely.
I'm telling you right now, this podcast we're about to publish, this is as big of moment as the Lost Vikings have had in 20 years. Like, I really I don't know if we'll ever see them again. This might be it. Yeah. So anyway,
Lost Vikings cinematic universe.
Play it, and you say it's for free if you go to their website.
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I can't remember. You go in their games, but it is right off their website.
That's
might be
killer.
Off the BattleNet website, but
is it playable? Like, is it playable with a keyboard?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how I originally played it. So
I suppose, yeah, that's true. Okay, well, fucking go play it. It's
Yeah, seriously,
for a one-time playthrough, dude. If they release this game on, they could put this game on the eShop on the Switch tomorrow for, I don't know, what would you pay for it?
I'd probably pay $20.
I was gonna say,
yeah, if
$20.
$20.
Yeah,
You know,
if it was the package,
yeah.
I'd want 1 and 2 for $20. Lost Vikings 1 and 2.
Oh, absolutely,
Worth
in a
it.
heartbeat.
Yeah. So come on, Blizzard, fuck around, do something with these.
This would be awesome on the Switch.
Right? It really would. It would.
Play a little game, get off the shitter, go back to work.
Oh, that'd be fucking. I love the Switch. Anyway, I could talk about that later. That was good, buddy. I'm not gonna lie to you, Dan. When we started talking about Lost Vikings, I was like, well, this is gonna be one of those 20-minute episodes, and we're at 35 minutes, and I'm pretty proud of that because I didn't think there was that much meat on the Viking bone. So we always like to score them. And I don't have. This is going to be a really crappy way to score this, but there's 3 Vikings, so you can go 0.5 if you want and cut a Viking up on a scale. We'll go 5 characters because Lost Vikings 2 is 5, just so at least it's more than 3. What would you give Lost Vikings out of 1 to 5 characters?
4 characters. Fuck Fang or whatever the dragon was.
Fuck Fang. You know what? I'll go like 3.5. It's good. Occasionally frustrating, but not game breaking. It's just there's just not a lot of. At the end of the day, there's just not a lot of meat there.
Yeah.
It's a one and done.
It's got no replay.
No replay.
Yeah.
Like less than no replay. But again, if they release it now, put DLC. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Lost Vikings level creator.
Oh, yeah, right. Fuck that. I don't even play Mario Maker because of fucking morons don't know how to make a good fucking level. You know how bad the fucking levels will be in this game? They just fuck you. Fuck every single. Oh. Good enough, dude. Thanks for doing this. That was fun.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Done. And that's going to do it for this week's episode. Daniel, thank you for coming over and talking Lost Vikings with me. And to every single one of you out there in listener land, no matter where you are on the planet, thank you so much for listening, supporting, and helping to grow this show. Like I said, if this show is getting you through some tough times, I'm so fucking happy to hear that. I want you all to know that you're getting me through some tough times, so I really appreciate the support and the way we've grown this thing, you guys. Next week is episode 90, and we start the countdown to episode 100. I have intentions of announcing a really big Patreon prize draw giveaway on episode 90. That'll be happening for episode 100. I got some plans. We'll keep all that stuff going. In the meantime, I'm going to go record some Let's Plays. You can see our old ones at youtube.com/rememberthegame. Mario Kart 8 tournament this Saturday. Follow us on Twitter or Instagram at memberthegame for the code to sign up. We're going to run it Saturday night for a couple hours. Winners will get shout-outs on the show. Go play some video games, hang out with your family, wash your hands, clean your controllers, don't shop at GameStop, and I'll talk to you in a week. Cheers.